Welcome back. Today, on our journey through the Bible, we will be learning about a patient,
Jesus loves
faithful
me,
man.
this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so.
Job. Our memory verse comes from 1 Peter 4:12 and 13. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. A heavenly assembly. A long time ago in heaven, there was a regularly scheduled assembly when all the representatives of all the worlds were presented to God. And Satan showed up to the meeting. God asked Satan where he was coming from, and he answered, from walking up and down in the earth. Because Adam had yielded to Satan, he believed that the earth was his domain. But God had another person that could better represent the earth in a heavenly assembly. God asked Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There is none like him in the earth. Job was a God-fearing, honest, and upright man of integrity. He hated evil and loved good. God saw him as a better representative for the earth. But Satan challenged this idea. He said, doth Job fear God for naught? Satan was implying that Job was obedient to God for the blessings he received. Job was a wealthy man living in the land of Uz. He had many herds of cattle, which included 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yokes of oxen, and there were 2 oxen in each yoke, and 500 female donkeys. He also had many servants. This made him a great man in all the East. Job also had 7 sons and 3 daughters, who were able to celebrate at each other's homes regularly. He was obedient to God's will and prayed regularly for his family, and as a result, God put a hedge of protection around him and his family, so that the devil could not harm him. This made Satan angry. He wanted to hurt Job and make him hate God. So, Satan presented a challenge to God. He told God that if he takes away his protection from Job, he could make Job lose faith. God agreed to this challenge. He allowed Satan to attack all that Job owned, but not his body. Calamity. Now Satan was as pleased as he could be. God gave him permission to hurt Job. Being the diligent wreaker of havoc that he is, he leveled into Job without mercy. In one day, Job lost every material possession. First, one of his servants reported that the Sabaeans attacked them and killed all his servants that were working in the field, and stole all the plowing oxen and the donkeys, and left him alone to pass on the message. While he was speaking, a second servant reported that fire came down from heaven and burned up all his sheep and the shepherd servants. Close behind, a third servant came reporting that the Chaldeans stole all his camels and have killed his servants that cared for them, leaving him alone to tell the tale. Finally, a fourth servant reported that a fierce windstorm killed all his children while they were celebrating in their eldest brother's house. Job fell to the ground and worshipped God, saying, "Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord giveth, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." This response made Satan furious. He again showed up to another assembly of the representatives of the worlds God created. God again asked him why he was there, presenting Job as a better candidate, because he had not sinned even in all his loss. Satan proposed another challenge, stating that Job would give up his integrity if his life was at stake. God again obliged him. Now Satan could harm Job's body, but he could not take his life. So Satan again attacked Job. He inflicted Job with boils from the sole of his feet to the crown of his head. Job was in pain all day. He sat in ashes and scraped his sores. In this pitiful circumstance, Job's wife told him to curse God and die. He told her that she spoke like a foolish woman. How could they take good from God and not bad? With all his calamity, and in the midst of his depression, Job never turned his back on God. Job had 3 friends who were wealthy men of high station in society in the land of Uz, just as he was. They came to comfort him in his loss, but their comfort wasn't very helpful. After their expression of pity, they began to accuse Job of some hidden sin, which would have brought on his tragic circumstances. But he had not sinned, and his friends could not comprehend the reason for his change in fortune. Lessons for Job and his friends. Under all the pressure from his friends, Job determinedly maintained his integrity and righteousness towards God, citing that the fear of the Lord is wisdom, and ceasing evil is understanding. But Job was very sad about his circumstances. He responded to his friends by outlining all the good deeds he had done for the poor and less fortunate. Then he turned to God and asked why he was in this calamitous situation. So God responded, in the hearing of Job and his friends. He reminded Job of who he is, Creator and Lord of the universe, then provided Job with some perspective, reminding him of his place in the universe as a creature and the son of Adam, who had sinned. Job had no power outside of God to do any of the good things he had itemized to demonstrate his unworthiness for this misfortune. Job responded to God with a newfound level of humility, which deepened his faith in God. With that, God turned to Job's friends and informed them of his displeasure at their misrepresentation of God, as punishing Job for his sins with this upheaval in his life. He required them to offer a sacrifice of repentance and to have his servant Job intercede in prayer for them. When Job prayed for his friends, God restored to him twice as much everything he had lost, and he lived a long and blessed life, seeing 4 generations of his children. Now it's time for activity. From whom did Satan have to get permission to attack Job? Yes, from God. He needs permission from God to do anything. Next question. How did Job maintain his integrity? Correct. By keeping his trust in God and not cursing God for his troubles. Next question. What lesson did Job and his friends learn? Correct. They were never to presume that they know what God is doing. Now our last question has 4 parts. How many heads of cattle did God bless Job with at the end of his calamity? This requires a bit of math. Correct. 14 heads of sheep, because he started with 7,000. How many camels? That's right, 6,000. He started with 3,000. How many oxen? 2,000. Remember, there are 2 oxen in each yoke, and he had 500 yokes. Now donkeys. Yes, he started with 500 and God blessed him with 1,000 in the end. Now, practice writing or saying the memory verse from memory.
Yes, Jesus loves
Next time, we'll read
me.
about the
Yes,
man God
Jesus loves
chose to
me.
change the world.
Yes, Jesus loves me.